Imagine this. It's the early 1900s. The world is mesmerized by a new age of technology. Humanity's pride and confidence are symbolized by one creation, the RMS Titanic. A ship so massive, so luxurious, that people called it practically unsinkable. But what if I told you the Titanic's tragic sinking may have been foretold long before it ever set sail? The most chilling so-called prophecy comes from a book. In 1898, 14 years before the Titanic disaster, author Morgan Robertson published a novella titled Futility, or The Wreck of the Titan. In it, he described a massive luxury ocean liner called the Titan. It was said to be unsinkable. It carried far too few lifeboats, and one cold April night in the North Atlantic, it struck an iceberg and sank, taking hundreds of lives. The similarities to the Titanic are unsettling. Both ships were almost identical in size. Both were called unsinkable. Both sailed the same ocean in the same month, and both struck an iceberg on their starboard side. Even their names, Titan and Titanic, echo each other. Was this just coincidence or something far stranger? But the prophecies don't stop there. Some passengers aboard the Titanic seemed to sense their fate before the voyage even began. One of them was William T. Stead, a British journalist and spiritualist. Years earlier, he had written about ocean liners not carrying enough lifeboats, warning that it would one day cause a great disaster. Even more chilling, Stead once predicted that he would die either by lynching or by drowning. On April 15, 1912, his words came true. Stead drowned in the icy waters of the North Atlantic. Other passengers had strange premonitions too. Survivors later recalled vivid dreams they had before the voyage. Dreams of drowning, of ships breaking apart, of being surrounded by ice. Some ticket holders even canceled their journey at the very last moment, claiming they had a bad feeling they couldn't shake. One woman said she repeatedly dreamed of floating ice, and she never boarded the Titanic. And then there are coincidences in media. Just weeks before the disaster, a short story was published in a London magazine about a great luxury ship colliding with an iceberg. At the time, it was dismissed as fiction, but reality would soon mirror that tale with terrifying accuracy. Even warnings were ignored. Several ships near the Titanic's route sent messages about dangerous ice fields ahead. But Captain Edward Smith, supremely confident in his ship's abilities, pressed on. Was it human error or destiny pulling him toward disaster? For some, the story doesn't end with premonitions and warnings. Conspiracy theories suggest the sinking was not an accident at all. According to one theory, some of the world's most powerful businessmen who opposed the creation of the U.S. Federal Reserve happened to be on board. And their deaths, conspiracy theorists claim, conveniently removed obstacles for powerful bankers who supported it. Could the Titanic have been deliberately sacrificed? Historians dismiss this as speculation, but the idea refuses to die. Others whisper about curses. Legends tell of a mysterious Egyptian mummy that was supposedly being transported on the Titanic, and that its curse doomed the ship. In reality, no such mummy was ever on board, but the story spread quickly, feeding the belief that something more than bad luck was at work. And then there are ghost stories. Visitors to the Titanic exhibitions have reported strange experiences. Footsteps in empty hallways, the smell of seawater where none should exist, even the faint sound of crying echoing from artifacts recovered from the wreck. Some sailors have claimed that in thick Atlantic fog, they've seen a phantom ship appear in the distance, resembling the Titanic itself, only to vanish into nothing. Another controversial theory suggests the ship that sank wasn't actually the Titanic at all, but its nearly identical sister ship, the Olympic. According to this theory, the Olympic had been badly damaged in an accident and secretly swapped with the Titanic to collect insurance money. While there's little hard evidence, the suspicion lingers as one of the Titanic's most enduring conspiracy legends. So what do we make of it all? Were these just coincidences stacked on coincidences, or was the Titanic's fate written long before the ship ever touched the water? What we do know is this: the Titanic remains one of the most haunting tragedies in human history. A vessel built as the peak of human engineering, brought down by a block of ice. A reminder that no matter how advanced we become, nature, and perhaps fate itself, always has the final word. Maybe the world was warned. Maybe the signs were always there. We just didn't listen.